President Trump has directed Elon Musk and the Doge team to identify fraud at the Social Security Administration. They haven't dug into the books yet, but they suspect that there are tens of millions of deceased people who are receiving fraudulent Social Security payments. If you paid into the system, honestly, you will continue to receive your Social Security checks.
Yeah, no, they aren't going to show that. The tens of millions of dead people collecting Social Security is the $50 million for Hamas condoms of this week. That's all it is. It's a thing that they're going to say. It's going to be immediately debunked. In 2 weeks, they might acknowledge that they were wrong, but the damage will already be done. And we'll have a new one the next week and a new one the next week. That's what we're going to have. And so we're going to do the debunking. It's pointless. There's no reason. They're not saying it because they believe it now, so they're not going to stop saying it when you prove that it's wrong. But Elon Musk is going beyond just the tens of millions. He claims there are 150-year-olds on Social Security. Okay, that's the claim that he's making. I don't know why the headline is cut off there, and I love that he's saying it. Okay, now you might think, well, why, John? Why do you love that he's saying something that you're saying is wrong? No, because it proves how utterly stupid he is. My God, if only we had a population that was semi-conscious. All of these constant reminders that he is not only not a genius, but he's literally one of the dumbest people in a group he's in would get through to them. So we'll return to debunking that lie. But the big issue is that they are all up in Social Security. And it probably immediately strikes you as that's maybe a dangerous thing, because isn't there a lot of really sensitive information in the Social Security system? Yeah, no, 100%. And we've already had a top Social Security official leave after they sought data access there. This is Michelle King, the acting commissioner, stepped down, wanted to stop them from getting access to this information. And as we've seen in many of these other departments, they just bulldozed through that. So she resigned because she effectively has no authority anymore. And yeah, here's the information that he can now access, or sorry, his 16 to 19-year-old incels can now access. Financial data, employment information, addresses for anyone with a Social Security number, so they could theoretically dox anyone they disagree with. Comprehensive medical records for people who've applied for disability benefits, bank information, earnings records, the names and ages of your children, and much more. So that's all fun. And think about it for just 1 second. What is like the one thing that our country, which is super easy to scam, even we know you're not supposed to do? Let some random person know your Social Security number, right? Like everybody knows that part. Well, they have access to all of them, okay? And they're not gonna find the waste and fraud. There's already been comprehensive audits that they found that waste and fraud was less than 1%, which they already had found and were fighting against. And so that is a smokescreen. But before we discuss, I do wanna return to the 150-year-old thing. So first of all, the tens of millions of people still in Social Security, it's not people that are drawing Social Security checks. It's people who've died but are still in the system. They're not actually taking the money. There's no fraud and there's no waste. But the 150-year-old thing is amazing, because apparently under an international standard called ISO 8601, a missing value for a date is coded as May 20th, 1875. For that reason, under some coding systems, a missing value for a date will default to 1875, which in the year 2025 produces a round figure of 150. And so this sort of thing, by the way, if you want to go, there is so many examples of this. Whenever Elon Musk talks about coding, talks about computer systems, he makes these sort of incredibly elementary mistakes. Now, not elementary mistakes that you or I would be able to catch. I didn't know that thing beforehand, but you know who would know that stuff? A genius coder, a Tony Stark of the real world or whatever, but he doesn't know any of that. And the issue is that because most of us can't tell when he's saying something boneheaded, the myth, the constructed PR-based myth of his genius continues. But everybody who actually does this work knows him for the dumb donkey that he is. Viviana, he could have access. His 17-year-olds could have access to your personal financial information soon. What do you make of it?
They're gonna be pretty bored, John.
Yeah, you think so?
I'm entertained by mine. But you know what? What's the big question here, right? What is this data for? We know that in this day and age, data is the gold mine. Everybody wants everyone's data. Why? What are they gonna use this data for? With that comprehensive medical information, who benefits from knowing that? Pharmaceuticals, maybe?
Yeah.
We also have a lot of mental health information in that database because you can get disability based on your mental health status. And as we have seen from other regimes that bordered on fascism, you want to get rid of that population, right? So now you have documented evidence that you are crazy and you should be in jail. You shouldn't be around public. You're a danger to humanity. These are the kinds of things that you can target people. You can dox them. You can, say you
100%.
don't. This is what we're looking at. So I don't know what else you think that this data breach could. Obviously, it's going to be lining people's pockets, and that's just what my mind is thinking. Like, what are they going to do with this?
Yeah, that's the most clear. There's two things that they're gonna do with all of this. They're gonna find out ways to enrich themselves, primarily Elon Musk, primarily his corporations, but others as well. I'm sure his lieutenants are having that dangled in front of them. So they're gonna be personally enriching themselves. Sorry, three things. The second thing is making it so that these systems don't actually work. They don't want benefits to be paid out to regular people because if the government's spending money, then it needs to raise money with taxes, which they don't want because they're there to protect the interests of the uber wealthy. And then the third thing is maintaining and consolidating their power. And so if you don't think that they're gonna find some kind of information, personal information they're gonna use to try to blackmail people or dox people, drive them out of the public eye, activists, media personalities, upstart politicians, that's 100% what this is all about. And so those three things, it's not waste, fraud, and abuse, it's personal enrichment, it's maintaining and consolidating power, and it's making it so the government only functions for the benefits of those who already have the most money. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.